How do you know if your company is really effective at storytelling? Can your leaders, can your marketing teams, and can your salespeople craft stories that show your customers that your product is key to achieving their desired future? That is a difficult question to measure. Yet, your company's growth depends on it. And research confirms this. In Harvard Business Review, it found that good storytelling increases conversions by 30%. And Deloitte discovered companies that tell compelling data stories are 3.5 times more likely to experience revenue growth. And an experiment by Robert Walker and John Glenn revealed that strong stories can increase perceived product value by over 2,700%. The problem is that most companies have no way to measure their storytelling abilities. They're flying blind and hoping that they improve over time without knowing how to compare to competitors. So that's why we've created this storytelling maturity scale assessment that I'm going to share in this video. You're going to understand where your organization stands and the specific steps needed to improve your storytelling to drive continued growth. So let's dive in. Here's a quick look at our framework. As you can see, there are 5 levels in the scale, and I will break each of them down in a second to show you how to know where your organization is at. But here's the gist. Every company is somewhere between 1, which is non-existent, and 5, which is transformative storytelling, and that's the scale. So companies like Apple, they're a 5. They not only leverage stories across every part of their organization, marketing, sales, internal comms, they are pros at story. Their leaders and key employees know how to tell great stories, and the demand for great storytelling skills trickles all the way down to everyone in the whole organization. And I'll talk about this more once we go over the transformative stage in detail, but the key is that companies that are at 5 are able to massively scale, and thanks in part to them being expert storytelling organizations. So let's break down each step, how to know if you're there, and what to do to move you to the next number on the scale. In my estimation, most organizations are here, and they don't even know it. Storytelling is non-existent. Now, that doesn't mean that they aren't doing well from a revenue perspective. Some organizations not using storytelling might have 7 to 8 figures in annual revenue, but they have an invisible ceiling that's blocking them from scaling their revenue, and it is their ability to tell compelling stories. Organizations at this stage often take the traditional 1950s vintage approach to their marketing. They market their product based on its necessity. It's more of a straightforward pitch about the features rather than really leaning into story. But that doesn't work as much today. There are often tons of options that customers can choose from. We live in a much more want-based world, which means you need to appeal to the customer's desires more than just taking a logical approach. So what does a level 1 look like in practice? So here's a hypothetical example of a new CRM. Now, their marketing focuses exclusively on features like 15 customizable dashboards, integration with 37 platforms, stores 100,000 customer records. Well, when Selena, a marketing agency owner, and she's considering this new CRM, and she sits through a demo and she thinks, I don't need 100,000 records. I need to stop working 70 hours a week and spending time doing things in my current CRM that's a waste of time. But the salesperson selling the new CRM, he keeps saying I'm highlighting technical capabilities. But instead, what Selena really wants is to achieve her agency's goals. And the whole disconnect was created between the two. So here's how you can identify if you're in this stage. Your marketing talks more about the features of your product instead of its benefits to your customers. Your sales calls with customers are only about closing rather than helping the customer. They see customers as just another number in a sales quota rather than humans who are struggling with a problem and in need of your solution. Your team members don't connect deeply with the company mission. They're just there to get paid and then go home. You may have poor sales performance because potential customers can't relate to your presentations. And if you see your org on that list I just gave you, then here are the main things you need to start to address to move to the next stage. You need to learn how to effectively use story structures in your marketing collateral and in your sales conversations, including what we at Duarte call the presentation spark line. And I have a TED Talk where I go deep and dive into the structures, so you can check that out. And then you'll need to make your customer the hero and your product or service as the mentor that leads and guides them toward their goal. So in short, you need to talk less about yourself, talk more about your customers' problems and goals, and then talk about how your product or service can help them. So learn what your customers really want. What are their problems? What are their fears, their pains? What are their wants? What are their desires? You need to empathetically think about what it's like to walk in their shoes. That means you don't just understand their wants and their fears, but you start to actually feel them and you start to actually relate to their wants and fears. So try mapping out what a normal day looks like for your ideal customer as they try to achieve their goal, and then identify every stage along the way where they may get stuck or encounter a roadblock. Once you and your teams start thinking and acting like this, you'll be on the way to stage number 2. Stage 2 is emerging. Here is what you might be able to identify. You might be able to see that members of your organization are aware of storytelling and are actively using it in some of their communication, but not all of it. And maybe storytelling is starting to be encouraged by leadership, but maybe it's still more on an informal basis. Or maybe you already have an overarching brand narrative and that's in place and you're using it for sales and marketing, but other team members not in sales and marketing or even the leaders might not be referencing it on a regular basis. For instance, your sales team might know really clearly what story to use, but it's still not automatic for them to use it during the sales conversation, or even when the pitching part is over, they might not know how to continue the story. But even your website, your ads, other promotional materials, they might tell the story, but people in your org don't talk about it much. So to see how this plays out in the real world, let's continue with that CRM example. So after attending one of Duarte's workshops, I just had to say that, the CRM's Chief Marketing Officer developed a win-back family time narrative for marketing agency owners. The CRM's website now showcases business owners enjoying family time. And the pros is that, hey, remember when you started your business to have more freedom and not less? Get the CRM that helps busy entrepreneurs like you make it home for dinner. However, most sales reps still focus on features during calls. But people experience a disconnect between what the CRM says on their website compared to what their sales reps are talking about online. The site promised work-life balance, but the sales call's focusing on features. So marketing references customer stories in the planning, but other departments still primarily discuss features. So how can you identify if you're in this emerging stage, this second level? You already know the importance of storytelling and you already have stories to use, but the story is really rarely referenced in conversations, whether those are internal comms or in like marketing copy or sales pitches. So you also may have a disconnect between the stories you tell, like maybe marketing tells one version and sales tells another, and customers still don't really know how you help them. And that's a problem. And then maybe only a few people from different departments are intentionally using stories in their communications. Moving out of the emerging stage is largely about execution. Here are the 3 things you can do so you can up-level to a new stage. You can develop a comprehensive brand narrative document, and this will formalize your customer story. And it's not just as a marketing concept, but as your company's guiding framework. Go beyond basic story structures to create a detailed blueprint with really specific messaging for different touch points in the customer journey. And this document should include really concrete examples of how your narrative translates into sales conversations, customer support interactions, and product development decisions. Next, you can introduce an accountability structure to make sure people are actually using the brand story in their communications. And you can do that by recording your internal meetings, your sales calls. You can go through slide by slide through decks that your salespeople have prepared. You can hold random mock sales calls for your sales team and see how or if they are using your brand story. You can create clear, detailed standard operating procedures or SOPs for every department on how they should use stories. For example, give your sales team an outline or a sales script showing them how to incorporate stories into their presentations and have them practice these outlines or scripts until they know them by heart. And with these steps in place, you'll be working toward the next stage, which is number 3, integrated. This next step is when storytelling starts to become part of the way your team works in the integrated stage. So here is where leaders and team members are already using stories regularly. There's less disconnect between the stories used by the organization's leaders versus marketing's efforts versus sales teams. What does this integrated approach look like in practice? So let's return to the CRM example where the CMO has fully integrated the family time narrative throughout the organization. They created detailed personas centered on agency owners who miss their kids' soccer games due to all the administrative chaos. And this story now drives everything: product development, evaluates features by asking, will this help our ideal avatar Selena, the agency owner, win back family time? Marketing then reshapes content with blog titles like How 3 Agency Owners Reclaimed Their Weekends. And then sales begins with, how many family dinners did you miss last month because of client management issues? Here are the main signs that your organization is a 3. You implement department-specific storytelling training, and you're equipping sales teams with transformation stories. You reach product teams to translate features into emotional benefits, and you train customer success to structure client wins as case studies. You develop core storytelling skills. Focus on always starting with the audience needs, translating data into action, and using story techniques to frame recommendations. And then you create feedback systems to evaluate storytelling effectiveness through customer interviews, sales calls analysis with clear improvement metrics. Establishing department-specific KPIs for storytelling, you can do that by tracking social engagement and leads for marketing, closed deals for sales, and then also retention and satisfaction for HR. So you can build a centralized searchable story library that all the teams can access, categorized by use case and even the audience. And building these little storytelling muscles into your organization is going to set you for the next stage. I might be biased, but I think this is where things can get very interesting for you and your team. Number 4 is systemic. At level 4, you're starting to really get good at storytelling as an organization. This is when storytelling is built into your culture, your process, and even your metrics. Your centralized story library is in place. Everyone in the org, from sales reps to recruiters to new hires, they can access stories by industry, by use case, by persona even. And this library is now even possible because people in your organization have developed a really good eye for great stories. In fact, people are actually fishing for stories that they can use. Not only that, but you've also maybe installed the systems to define how you capture new stories, how you refine them by using storytelling structures and empathy walks, and then how you finalize them and how you distribute them to the rest of the organization so they can study and use it later. And eventually, how you evaluate their effectiveness. So here's how our hypothetical CRM company should implement this systemic approach. They create a story lab, and this team is responsible for capturing and distributing customer stories. So when Jamie, a CRM customer, mentioned that the CRM helped her make her son's graduation because she handled a client emergency remotely, the support rep flagged it for the story lab. The CRM team interviews Jamie and adds her story to their centralized story library, which is a searchable database categorized by industry, company, size, and pain point. The leadership team starts tracking story effectiveness so they can figure out which stories are driving sales. So when launching their mobile feature, the CRM's Story Lab team developed the soccer game scenario, showing how business owners can handle client requests from the sidelines without missing their child's winning goal. Isn't that amazing? And the marketing team for this CRM regularly conducts these narrative audits across all touch points, and this results in improved employee retention, customer lifetime value, as clients see their CRM as a life-changing tool and not just software. And here's how you can know if you are at stage 4. You have a centralized story library where you can add and keep stories that you can use. Then there's members of your org, and they're actively fishing for stories, and they can effectively turn these stories into really strong campaigns. Then your presentations, press releases, and brandings all have stories. And you're now systematically tracking the results of your stories, and you can see if they're hitting the KPIs that you've set. So if you're thinking, well, I wish I had that, I get it. It takes a lot of intention, takes leadership buy-in. And of course, the resources for an organization to get to stage 4 takes a lot of them. So here's one thing that I recommend to help your organization get from stage 3 to stage 4. Make it really easy for every leader and employee to get storytelling training and the resources they need to be successful. Because the more people that do it for themselves during their own meetings and with their own teams, it becomes contagious. And then more people will want that. Then it's going to be easier for you to build the case for storytelling. And once you do get into stage 4, there's still one more way to level up, and that is stage 5. Number 5 is transformative. Here in stage 5 is where storytelling goes from just being part of what you do to being part of who you are as an organization. It's when storytelling becomes your recognized competitive advantage, not just a marketing tactic. When it drives cultural change and it creates lasting industry impact like we see with companies like Apple. So let's complete our hypothetical CRM's transformation journey. At level 5, Their winning back family time narrative has evolved into a movement called Business Without Sacrifice. And their CEO becomes a sought-after speaker at industry events, and she's sharing customer transformation stories alongside the customer insights. The narrative transcends their product. They publish a best-selling book. They launch a podcast. They create a foundation helping smaller business owners build sustainable ventures. And even when they release updates, publications cover it as part of a cultural conversation about work-life balance that their CRM initiated. So this philosophy permeates their internal culture, forcing competitors to position against not just the features, but a narrative that's already created an emotional connection with customers who view this CRM as a life partner, not just software. And the power of this approach is evident in Nike's Just Do It campaign, which helped them grow from $800 million to $9.2 billion in just 10 years. And at this level, your brand story is recognized across your industry, and you continuously evolve your narratives as markets change. Like Canva, they expanded from a design tool to a comprehensive AI creative suite, and they've defined the future of work while growing their impact and revenue. These are the 5 levels in the storytelling maturity scale. Which level is your organization at today? And we've created a self-assessment that's not only going to identify your current level, but provide a tailored recommendation to help you reach the transformative stage, which is the best. So great storytelling can transform your brand from one that merely exists in the marketplace to one that shapes industries and changes lives. And that advantage can help you get new customers and keep the ones you have and keep your top talent because you've used storytelling to make your vision and mission something that they want to be part of. So click the link below to take the assessment and start your journey to make storytelling work for you and your organization. And I'll see you next time.